Hey everyone, welcome back to Anime Sekai Podcast. I'm your host Mikan and I'm here with the lovely,
Ichigo here. What's up, guys?
hey guys, join us this week as we discuss the beloved shoujo anime Yona of the Dawn. Hey guys, this week we will be talking about one of our favorite shoujos, Yona of the Dawn, also known as Akatsuki no Yona in Japanese. I know this
hmm
is my favorite, and I'm pretty sure it's also your favorite as well, Ichio.
Yeah, I really love this story.
I
So much
agree.
so that I watched it again just for this week's episode.
Same, actually. We had to do a little recap. So, for those of you who
Yes.
have never watched it or don't know what it is, it's a story about this girl named Yona, who is a red haired princess who lives happily in the palace with her father and friends, oblivious to the misery of the kingdom. But one day on her 16th birthday, her life changes when the emperor, her father, is killed. And after being betrayed and run out of her home, she searches for four legendary dragons to take her back her stolen kingdom with the help of her childhood friend and protector, Hak. It is kind of a little love story, right? You would agree, right? I mean, there are some
I would to a
lovey
certain
moments.
degree. There are some lovey moments, like lovey-dovey moments, I guess. And I like that about the show, but at the same
Uh-huh.
time, girl, I'm just
It's
you
good.
know, it's a good show.
It's a good show.
Suwon is my number one enemy, and the first time I
Ooh.
watched the first time I watched this show, I was
Mhm.
like, "Oh, he's avenging his father's death."
Mhm.
And when the show first came out in 2014, I gave Suwon the benefit of the doubt.
Mhm.
When I rewatched it, my whole attitude changed. I was
You
like,
were
"Nah, he
mad?
gotta go." I was mad.
Were
I
you
was
mad?
big mad. I was
Yeah.
big mad.
You're like, "I have a couple words for you, sir."
And I guess it's just because of the way that Yona paints him in the story that's like, "Oh, he's just kind of, like, misunderstood. He is,
Like,
like, this really nice guy," and then he flips on her. He is so crazy in my mind that for years, he was planning the death
yeah. Yep,
of
I
the
mean, he was
king.
since he was a little cunning and very capable,
Yeah,
like, in a
and
scary way almost.
exactly, I was about to say the exact same thing. It's a scary way almost to a point where he's got 2 separate personalities,
Yeah, because he is
and
like a sweetheart, basically on the outside, but
Mhm.
he is cunning. He's like a snake. I mean, he is.
He's two-faced.
Oh,
He
yeah.
is definitely two-faced, and when he told Yona, like, "The Suwon that you knew and grew up with never existed in the first place," and I was like, "At some point, he
Mhm.
had to have existed because she has memories of your dad,
Yeah.
and if she has memories of your dad and he hadn't died at that point or his father hadn't been killed, at what point did his personality change to where he had then plotted to try and kill Yona's dad and then take
Mhm.
over the kingdom?"
Yeah. So I have read the manga. Ichigo has not. For those of you who don't know, the manga, there's like 250 chapters currently, and it's still going. I think it started what it was probably 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's
It's been
started in
running for
2014.
yeah, so it's been running for that was the anime, right? I think 2014.
Oh, yeah, sorry, the anime started in
Yeah,
2014.
so I think the manga started 2009. So it's been running for a really long time. For those of you who are interested, the manga is actually really good. Sometimes for shoujos, the art style changes, like the anime art is a little bit better oftentimes, but for Yona the Dawn, the manga is really pretty. And in my personal opinion, I prefer the manga art style because it's a little more flowy and it just looks better to me. So I
Mhm.
highly recommend it for anyone who's interested in reading. And there's plenty of chapters. The anime ends on chapter 47, so you can just start from there. It
Which is a
continues straight
bad
away.
place. That's the only thing about this show. I love the show. I love the character development. I
Mhm.
loved how they put Yona through the ropes in order for her to become like this strong, somewhat independent young girl who has gone through these trials and tribulations. And now she is starting to kind of open her eyes and see a little bit more, see the things that maybe well, I shouldn't say maybe, that her father did shelter her against. And now she is this strong, and I say somewhat independent because she herself is like, I still have a long way to go. She says that in the
Yeah.
anime. This strong, somewhat independent girl who is now hopefully, quote unquote, bent on revenge against her former unrequited love. And the only thing that I just did not like is the way that they ended. They ended it with like, okay, she is strong and powerful. But at the same time, you're like, okay, so what happens next?
Yeah. I mean, basically, well, I know what happens next, but uh
For those
um
that have only seen the anime, we don't know
yeah.
what happens.
Yeah, after where it ends, honestly, and it gets really good. Stuff starts to fall into place. It's like a lot more backstories as well. Oh, there's an OVA for anyone who's interested. It's 3 episodes, and it gives a little bit backstory of Zeno's background, which is also very sad, as well as Jeha's, but that's only like a little flashback. That's why I highly recommend reading the manga because I don't know if there will be a season 2, which there should be.
There should be. There should
There
definitely
should
be a
be
season 2.
because it's very
And
popular.
well, not only is it popular, we need to know and watch how the story plays out. Not a whole lot of people
Yeah.
like to read manga. And
Yeah.
so once the season has ended, season 1 ended with 24 episodes,
Yeah.
and you're left on a cliffhanger and you're like, this is it? Wait a minute. This is it? When I thought it ended, I thought, okay, maybe after a couple of years, it's caught up with the manga in my head. So they're going to wait until the manga either finishes or gets enough chapters out there to where now they pick the anime back up. And we still haven't gotten one. And I'm like, come on now.
It's been
Please,
it's been so
somebody.
long.
Akatsuki no Yona, Yona of the Dawn is one of my top list of this anime needs to have a season 2.
Oh, I agree. I 100% agree.
Anime company, whoever made
Somebody
this,
somebody.
come, or even somebody else, pick it up.
Yeah. Oh, but I did hear a rumor. This is not about Akatsuki no Yona, but Kimi ni Todoke?
Yes, season
They're
3
yes, they're doing
is
so I
coming back
still
out
have
on
hope, and that's been
Netflix.
years. It's been years since they did the
It's been
last one.
10 years
Yeah, so I have
since Kimi
hope.
ni Todoke came out.
I have hope that they will start doing some oldies because there's a bunch, including this one. Yona of the Dawn needs to be done as well.
I wanna say
So,
this needs to be at the top of somebody's list
yeah,
because I need to see her exact revenge on Suon. I'm sorry. I need to see him go down. I have no more
that might not happen for
sympathy
a while,
for him.
just saying.
I know, but I literally have no more sympathy for him. And the reason I have no more sympathy for him is even that scene in the anime where the second son of the Fire Kingdom, I said
Yeah,
Fire Kingdom,
yeah,
sounds like Avatar, you know what I mean?
yeah, Fire Nation.
The funny he comes with the strands of her hair and he was like, "I killed her. Please
Oh, he was
exact
sad.
punishment on me." Girl, I was like, "What are you sad for? You are the one who started all of this. So you have no reason to feel any sort of way
Mhm,
about her supposed death and Huck's supposed death because
yeah,
you are the one who started all of this. Like, bro, take your little sympathy and go sit down somewhere because nobody is here for that. We're not feeling for this. Like, go
mhm,
sit
nope.
down." I was so mad.
Yo, for
I
real,
was so mad.
he could have bided his time and married Yona, although it is explained a little later why he does what he does, but still, to me, I'm like, "You shoulda just swept her off her feet, married her despite everything, and then taken over." You know what I mean?
I think so too. I think there was other ways that he could have approached that. The moment Yona was like, "I have feelings for you," and he was like, "Oh, I'm not really good at this kind of stuff." In his mind, his plan should have shifted and been like, "You know what? I could easily get rid of the king."
Yeah,
In other words, do it the way that he did. stupid way. Or he could have, and I hate to even suggest this, he could have kind of piggybacked off of Yona's feelings
Yeah,
and
basically manipulated
tried
her.
to, he still would have ruled the
Mhm.
kingdom and he could have ruled it the way that he wanted to, and nobody had to die.
Yeah.
If they would have done an OVA where they would have played that sort of like an alternate
Yeah, alternate reality type of
strategy,
yeah.
yeah, like, I wonder if they would have done that, like, how that would have played out. Because if Yona's dad did not want to approve of her feelings for Suon,
Mhm.
and he was aware of them,
Yeah.
he was like, "I've given you everything that you have asked for. I cannot give this one thing to you." And, 16-year-old, her first love, her first crush that she's had since she was a kid. I mean, honestly, they could have worked something out. They
They
could have
coulda.
worked something out
I
to
agree.
where the dad would have just, he would have just had to suck it up and be like, "Look, okay, you're in
Mhm.
love." He will take over. But I want to know, this was my only question for the anime, and I hope it is explained in the manga because it was not explained at all in the anime. How in the world did Suon know that his father was murdered by Yona's father?
I feel like there was it's been a long time since I read the manga, and I haven't read, like, the recent chapters that have come out,
Mhm.
so I can't remember. I feel like there was a discussion about that, but I'm pretty sure it should be explained eventually.
It was not explained in the anime.
Yeah, I feel like
So,
it's too early. I mean, they didn't even explain a lot of the other characters' backgrounds yet.
yeah.
By the way, I have to know, who is your favorite character? Besides Yona, I guess, out of the
Besides
guys.
Yona, out of the
Yeah.
guys,
So laugh.
um, because I'm trying to think of who would be my favorite. I wanna say Haku is my favorite
Okay.
because I love how he's so quick with his comebacks.
Yes, he's hilarious.
He is hilarious, but also, like, you can tell he's very protective, like, he is protective of Yona.
Mhm.
He don't care what happens to himself or anybody else. He's just like, "Look, I will fight for you." And you could tell he really likes her.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
No.
he is
And
in love with her.
what's so sad is he would have given up his own, like, love and happiness for them to be happy,
I
Yona and so
know.
on, and this stupid man had to go and ruin it. So, well, I guess the one good thing is hopefully Huck can have her because someone doesn't deserve her, let's be real.
No, he don't. He deserves the rock underneath his feet. Not even a rock. He just he don't deserve anything. I'm sorry, he don't. I'm not actually no, I'm not sorry. Suwon does not deserve anything. And for those of you that agree with me, just pat yourself on the back because Suwon does not deserve anything. Sorry, he don't. He don't. But when Yoon joins their team
Mhm.
and starts out on the journey to look for the dragons, the white dragon,
Uh-huh.
Gija. I think Haku had said something to her like, "How would you feel if I would have approached you in this like romantic type of way?" And Yona's response is like, "That's not gonna happen," or something like that.
Oh,
He's
yeah, she was,
she
like, completely
said
oblivious.
she was completely oblivious.
Yeah.
And Yoon's comment, he was like, "I feel bad for him for
Yeah.
all of a sudden."
Yeah.
That cracked me up for a little while. I was
No,
like,
there is some, like,
"Okay."
really good scenes. Like, for instance, when Huck sort of really starts to hit on her. Yo, when he licked her hand after putting the honey on it, I was
Girl.
like, "Boy, you better calm yourself down here."
When he did that, I was like, "Okay." Just so nonchalantly starts licking her
I'm
fingers,
like,
and I was
what is
like,
going on?"
"Excuse me, sir.
To
If
come
you
out.
do that, then she'll know."
I don't
And
even
she's
know if he's
still
trying to hide
oblivious
it.
after that. No, at this point, he's not because he's low key is trying to take her mind off of Suon.
Mhm. I feel
That's the
sorry
only
for
thing.
him. I feel sorry for him. He is my favorite character too, I think. Oh, but I also like Shinya because, um,
Yeah.
he's just so cute, and his backstory, I have to say him, Jeha, and Zeno, for those of you who only watch the anime, you'll have to read the manga for their backstory, but to me, theirs is the saddest, especially Zeno. I feel this poor boy, like, let this poor boy just let him go, like,
And he's the youngest of all of them too.
I don't wanna
He's
spoil it
not?
though,
Okay,
but,
okay.
he's not,
Well, let
but
me put it this way, the reason I assume that he is the youngest is
mhm.
because of his personality, and he's kind of a lot
Oh,
more
yeah.
carefree. Also, his voice actor, Hiro Shimono, I don't know why, most of his characters
Mhm.
sound a lot younger to me. And it's not all of
Yeah.
his characters that he plays, but a lot of his characters have, like, a very younger
Yeah. I mean, he's
feel to
supposed to
them.
give off that feel, and the way he
Yeah.
talks as well, is, like, kind of like a little young child, but he's actually the oldest.
What?
He's the oldest.
Oh man.
He may look young, but he's the oldest by a long shot. For all my mango readers, you know what I'm talking about.
Dang.
I love that all of them have, like, kind of a sad backstory,
Mhm.
and it's, like, so sweet, but honestly, I have to say, Shia, he's so cute, especially when he was small and his predecessor, Ao, like, started to lose his sight. It was so sad,
Yeah.
and then when he puts the bell on so that his
He can
Ao
hear
can hear
him.
him, I was like, "Stop." So cute. But the fact that he named the squirrel Ao just kills me every time.
I liked how Yona was like, "That name does not suit him at all," and
Yeah.
he
They
thought
both
so
agree.
too, and I
They were
was
like,
like,
"Yeah,
"What?
he's too cute."
We just gonna keep calling him that though."
Yeah, no, he's too cute.
Uh,
Honestly, it's such a just the
it's a
all-round
really good show.
cast. And
The
I feel like
cast
there's
is really good.
yeah, and, rarely do I like all of the characters, but I
Mhm.
actually really like all the characters, particularly Kija and Jeha and Huck's, like, little banter and
Mhm.
their little fighting. I love it. It's so cute.
The show itself does a really good job of although they are in a serious situation, the show does a really, really good job of adding humor
Yes, it
in
does.
certain places and areas where it's like, okay, guys, we're going to be dealing with this girl who has just lost her father. She's only 16 years old. She lost him on her birthday, and now she has to go on a journey. Otherwise, her life is in danger. And in
Mhm.
between those moments, Haku is like, oh, you're just a princess. Like, he jokes and brings somewhat lighthearted to a situation,
Yeah.
and the first time I watched it, I laughed. In my mind, I'm like, okay, this is kind of like a comedy. And it takes you away from the serious moment for even just a second. And then it goes back into the serious moments.
Mhm.
But you are watching the strong character development of Yona.
Yeah.
And the anime puts you through what she's going to really well.
Mhm.
You see Yona's progress in certain anime, a lot of the progression is the main character has gone through this big tragic thing, and now they kind of have to buck up real fast,
Yeah,
and
they
it
gotta, like,
goes through
power
it
up and
pretty
yeah.
yeah, it goes through it real fast. And now that all of a sudden that they've gotten this strength, they're no longer weak, they're no longer scared. But in Yona of the Dawn, you still see her scared moments. You still see her weak moments.
Yeah.
She's not instantly, okay, now I'm gonna go back and get revenge.
Yeah, she's, like, not tough right away, but there's, like,
Mhm.
fire in her eyes, and I absolutely love that. And it
That's
does
my
take a
favorite part.
while. Yes, and when she looks at people, she's like, "I'm about to take you down." Oh, it's so nice. But it's also
Right.
the hard part is but her dad was such a pacifist that
Mhm.
it's just really sad that she kind of has to go against him to basically not really right his wrongs, but save her kingdom, you know?
Right. Well, also she's learning along the way the downside of always being a pacifist for when you're
Yeah.
ruling a country, the moment where she goes to feed and help that sick person in the village, and he's just going off about how bad her father was as a ruler. And that was also another moment where up until that point she had been showing some signs of strength, but then she is reminded how closed off to the world she was and how closed off her father kept her. And she's reminded that there are people in this world that do not like the way that he ruled. They don't appreciate the way that he ruled. Although
Yeah.
she looked at him as like a beloved father who gave her everything that she could ask for, there are people who suffered under him.
Mhm. Yeah.
And
Because of him being a pacifist, yeah.
right. And she's once again reminded, okay, now I have to be even more strong.
Yeah,
The
when she
people
has
are
to pick
like,
up the
these people
weapon.
are suffering, and the person who killed her father is sitting on the throne.
Yeah. But is he a good king? As of right now, though, I feel like he has taken in the anime, at least, he has taken steps already to sort of help, what is it, the Earth Tribe? Was it?
Mhm. Yeah.
Without even trying, like, or he, I mean, he was trying, but, like, without even them noticing, you know?
Yeah. That episode, Suon is annoying because I'm like, "Bro, at this point, you don't need to hold a facade against anybody. Nobody you are now the king, you are now the ruler. Stop
Yeah.
playing games, stop being fake. You don't need to be cunning anymore." Like, the whole instance where the Earth general was calling him, like, a rabbit and stuff, and I'm like, "Nah, bro, he a snake. He's a snake, and if
Mm.
anything, you don't need to be following him. Sorry."
I feel like later on, when I read the manga, I did feel a little bit different about Suon, but it still stings that you basically totally, completely betrayed the 2 people who would have basically given you everything, you know?
Mhm.
That just hurts my soul.
That's sad. I mean, but that's just how the story played out. I like it because now we have a main character, Yona, who is going to hopefully extract our revenge
Uh-huh.
for
Like a
us.
little
I don't
face-off.
yeah, I watched the anime. I have not read the manga. I think now I'm gonna go and find it so I can read it so I can figure out how that story ended. But at this point, bro, nope. Suon gotta go, and I want Yona to be the one to take him out. Point blank.
Oh,
Period.
with a little arrow, just pew.
Look, let me tell you something. You brought up her and with the bow and arrow. This girl worked day in and day out learning how to use her bow and arrow so that she could be useful in combat.
Yeah,
Every night she would wake up and
and do
she
the
would shoot
100.
those the
Yeah,
200 bow
100,
and
200,
arrow, like
yeah,
just the
every night.
shots.
Yep.
She has already surpassed Kagome on my bow and arrow.
Oh, yes,
It's like her
100%.
usefulness, girl. Like when Kagome was given that bow and arrow in the beginning of her story, and she was like, "What am I supposed to do with this?" And he
Girl
was like,
barely used that right.
"Kagome, like Kikyo, you are her reincarnation. You should know how to use a bow and arrow." No, Yona stepped up to the plate and was like, "I'm
Oh,
going to learn how to
yes.
use this bow and arrow." And every single night while everybody was asleep, she would wake up early and she would practice
She would actually do something. In that moment when she took that dude down, I forgot his name, but
on the
th
pirate
during the
ship.
pirate art, yes. I was like, "Yes, girl. Actually useful."
And she was not scared either. She was like, "Look,
Oh, yeah. She got
Imma
that
hit him
fire in
or
her
I'm not gonna hit
eyes.
him." Mhm.
Mhm.
When you mention the fire in her eyes, and I am now thinking of all of the dragon's reactions to seeing her,
Yeah.
it makes me wonder a couple of things. One, did Yona's dad know enough about the Crimson Dragon to think that his daughter is the Crimson Dragon's, I guess, reincarnation or like ancestor or some way?
Mhm. Mhm.
Because we don't hear about Yona's mom. And Yona says when she's talking to the is it Gigan, the pirate captain,
Yes.
when she is talking to her, she was like, "I don't remember my mother. I don't
Oh, yeah, that was so sweet. That
remember
was
what she looks like or anything like that." And so that made me wonder, like, did Yona's mom have red hair, that fiery red hair? Two, was Yona the Crimson Dragon's descendant? Because Yona does say, like, I'm not a descendant of him, but I'm like, that's
'cause
the case, then why are they all having why are the other dragons having this reaction to you?
yeah, so technically, I believe the Fire Tribe are supposed to be descendants of the original king,
Mhm.
but I cannot I mean, it's been years since I've read it, probably like a decade, so
Yeah.
or no, maybe a little less, but I feel like there was an explanation, but she probably is either I mean, she's the reincarnation, I'm assuming,
Right. In
and
which case, if she is, and let's say King Il knew about this, the
yeah.
reason that he did not want to sign off on any wars or anything like that is because of the tragic ending with the urban legend of the Crimson Dragon.
Mm, I see. That could be a possibility.
I need his backstory too.
Yeah, I feel like they talked about him, but I could not for the life of me remember. I honestly would love to know more about his character because I do feel like he had to be tough being surrounded by all the people that he was
Mhm.
surrounded by. Everyone was, like, greedy and power hungry, and yet he had to keep everyone in check, and he
Well,
was
and
still
yeah, he was still,
like
like,
a
a
pacifist.
pacifist. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, and I think that's because his brother, who was technically first in line and was supposed to be king, which is Suon's dad, was out busy taking care of all the fighting and stuff like that. Like he was like, "Okay,
Yeah.
I'll let him take care of it. That's what he wants to do, so I will rule the country." I don't know. But if you were just based on the anime,
Okay.
I if you were to complete the ending of the anime, because like we said, the anime ended off on a very big cliffhanger. We don't know if she's going to go back to her kingdom to try to overturn and get rid of Suon. We don't know if she's going to try to create her own kingdom to do whatever else. But how would you end the anime?
So, what I would do is the little gang they have, I would make them sort of a like shadow protectors, the people who protect in the background.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And I would definitely have Yona and Huck marry, of course. They're gonna have to be together, have little babies. And personally,
Okay.
personally, I would keep Suon as king.
Okay.
And I would have the little group kind of stay in the background doing their thing, but the whole kingdom basically knows who they are and respects them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, she's like the background queen, basically, that actually rules.
Okay. I can see that. There's a couple of flaws in that though. One,
Mhm.
Suon will find out that she's alive
No, that's the thing,
quickly,
he knows. In, like, my ending, he knows that she's alive.
but then he's
Sh
gonna try and go kill her.
No, he's not. He's gonna do what he has to do and be king. And he's like, "Just don't get in my way." And she's like, "I'll do my thing and you do yours. We
I
both
don't
want the
think
best for the kingdom." And
I
yeah.
don't think that he's gonna let that happen, but okay.
I mean, he doesn't really wanna kill her. Even
Yes,
in
he
the anime.
does.
Even in the
Yes, he
anime, he
does.
lets her go.
No, he does not. In the anime, she runs away. Hawk comes to save her. He was getting ready to take her out.
No, when they meet again.
Oh, at the cliffs.
Yeah. The
Yeah, I
cliffs are
forgot
like
about
the
that.
pirate, yeah. No, he lets
Yeah.
her go, yeah. But he doesn't actually I don't think he actually wanted to kill her. Like, at first, I think he was maybe thinking of, "Okay, I gotta get rid of her," but then after he's like, "Girl, just live your life, just don't get in my way."
Okay.
Alright,
All
what about
right.
you? What's your I'm assuming it won't include Suwon.
No, it will not. It will not include Suan. So, first and foremost, I want her to, if she is actually the descendant of the Crimson Dragon, I want her to get some sort of power, just like a little one. I don't know what
Mhm.
kind of power, because I don't know what, they didn't really explain what kind of powers he had because he chose to live as half human, half dragon before turn I don't know, but, I want her to get some kind of power. I want her to storm with a capital S.
You're like, "Get in that castle."
I want her to storm the castle, yank Suon by his hair, yank him off that throne. I'm not one to condone violence, but he needs to be yanked off of the throne. He ain't gotta die, he could just be exiled.
Okay, okay.
I'm not gonna, get rid of him, get rid of him.
Do you think Huck and him will have a confrontation?
Yes, and I want there to be a confrontation.
Mm.
I want Hawk to just beat him to a pulp. Actually, I want Hawk to be the one to yank him off the throne. Let Yona get in a couple of hits and
Mhm.
then just banish him forever. Cut his hair, get rid of him,
Dessert.
banish him, and make sure that he goes into like the deepest, darkest forest with no weapons, nothing, and he just gotta survive there on his own. That's it. Or I would have her kind of like what you said, like she is going around saving people, but I want her to end up creating her own like
Kingdom
empire, I
almost?
guess.
Yeah,
Like, yeah,
okay.
kingdom, empire. And then once she gets powerful enough, it's gonna take a while. That's okay. Once she gets powerful enough, I want her to go and start a war with her previous kingdom and Suon, and I want them to win,
Mm.
and then Suon just happens to, not make it.
I was about to say he happens to, you know,
Yeah, just
just
not make it in the
disappear
end.
suddenly,
He's just gone,
You just wipe gone.
My main concern is that he's gonna find out that Yona is alive and that she has met with the dragons and that the dragons are working for her, and eventually he's going to turn on her, get rid of her, and then try to force the dragons to go take back whatever King Ill has basically just let go and use their
Yeah.
power for what he's saying for the people, quote unquote, but it's not for the people.
Yeah. I mean, he knows she's alive. The thing is he doesn't believe
Yeah,
in the dragons as far as in the anime. He talks about I think there's like a brief moment where he's like, "Oh yeah,
that's a
the
nice
that little
story,
fairy
something
tale,
like
yeah,
that.
those folk
Yeah.
tales my dad used to talk about or something like that." So, I'm excited though to see him actually find out that the dragons are real. That's what I'm excited for. And he's like, "Uh-oh, what am I gonna do
Um,
now?"
I mean, yeah, that's true. Either way it goes, Suon has got to go.
He's gotta go.
Yona needs to be on that throne.
Mhm.
And I think on the way to the throne, I want her to be able to help those villages and those areas that she's passed by to like help them get back on their feet
Yeah.
because
To be a
kind of like
happy kingdom.
yeah, to be happy. Now, married, I think right now her heart is set on Suon, unfortunately, because she still has that hairpin that he gave her for her birthday.
Oh, she needs to just throw that. She needs to just that's what she needs to do. She needs to throw that at him and yeah.
That's how she yanks him off the thing. Just
Yeah.
put it in his hair and just rip it
Just rip
with him on. No, I'm
be like,
kidding, but
"Thanks for nothing."
but I honestly wanted Hawk to get rid of the hairpin. Like,
Him to toss it?
yeah.
No, I feel like it's gotta
And
come
she
from
just be like,
her.
"I lost it." I mean, yeah, that's true. I think for her, in order for her to get over Suwon completely,
Yeah, she has to
she needs
be.
to be the one to get rid of the hairpin.
I know there are people still rooting for her and so on, but I feel like if it does end up with them
No,
together, I just would not. I can't. After everything she's been through, it's just also,
no.
I would just you can't just leave Huck like that. Like, this man has given up everything, alright?
His life, he's been wounded for her
Oh,
multiple
yeah.
times. He has saved her life. I'm down for the ship of Hawk and Yona.
Yes, I agree. What
I
about
I
what do you
I would
think will
ship
happen
them.
to the other dragons? Like, are they just
Once
gonna be
they're done,
soldiers? Yeah.
I think they're still going to continue to serve her and like help her out. And, if she says, "Hey, I need you to go to this village to help them," then they would go. Or, eventually they will just go. She might, to be honest with you, I feel like Yona is the type of person to just set them free and let them
Yeah.
do what they want to do. After the battle's done, she's hopefully gotten her revenge or she's gotten to a point where she feels like she doesn't need them anymore. And the reason
Mhm.
I say that is because when she was talking to Yoon in one episode, she was saying that, for example, Hawk was commanded to protect her and that he has not been able to be free and live freely how he wants to. And so she said when everything is all said and done, she wants to give him his freedom, grant him his freedom.
Mhm.
I think she's going to do that with the dragons as well and say, "Look, thank you guys so much. I appreciate your help. Hike Kai-san. Like, you guys
Yeah.
are good to go."
We done here.
We done.
You guys worked really hard, thank you.
It's over. Thank you. Appreciate it. Like, you guys are free to go.
Yeah, I can see that. I feel like that's I mean, that's the only way to go, and I feel like Kija would probably stay by her, and keep serving her, and maybe Shia as well, but
Yeah.
Jeha, I feel like he's just gonna be a little wanderer, kind of do his own thing,
Mhm.
and Zeno, poor little Zeno. I hope he gets what he wants and what he deserves. No, I don't wanna
The
spoil
monk.
it, so
Yeah, no, don't spoil it.
I just hope that he gets what he
Whatever he
deserves,
desires.
yeah.
Yeah. I think Yona is that type of character where we've literally watched her grow from a spoiled, pampered princess to
Yeah, to a
this
warrior.
well, not even the fact
I
that
feel
she's a
like
warrior, like this broken,
mhm.
almost soul searching girl
Yeah.
who has no choice but to become a warrior.
Mhm. I mean, I feel like she was always a good person, it's
Mhm.
just she was ignorant, and
Yeah,
then coming out into the world, just seeing her grow in that way and truly being not only a leader, but a caring person. I just absolutely love to see that kind of growth, and the character development
yeah.
in the story is just really good.
It is really good, and I would absolutely love to continue to watch her grow with a second season.
Second
Somebody make
season,
it.
somebody.
Please.
Everyone put that out into the world, put that vibe, second season.
I mean, let me tell you something. The internet broke when we found out that Kimi no Todoke was gonna have a season 3.
Oh,
I need the internet to break again if we find out that Yona of the Dawn is gonna come out
oh,
with the season
I
2.
will be so happy. What do you guys
I will
think?
be
Is it gonna happen?
glued.
Let us know. I need
Yeah,
to
let
know.
us know. Are you guys here for a season 2 of
I'm
Akatsuki no
sure they are.
Yona?
They've gotta be. Who wouldn't be?
Fingers crossed that one day we will get a season 2. Let me put it this way, if they can redo Sailor Moon and redo Rurouni Kenshin,
Mhm.
they can give us a season 2 of
I
Akatsuki no
agree.
Yona.
I agree. There's so much manga chapters out there. They have plenty to go on.
Mhm.
Also, guys, let us
Yes.
know what you guys think is gonna happen. And manga readers, do not spoil it.
Yes, we would love to hear you guys' opinion on the anime ending.
Yes,
How
the anime
would you
ending.
like to see it? And also let us know, what do you think about Yona's character development in the anime? Thank you guys so much for joining us on this week's episode. Be sure that you are following us on our social media pages, Instagram and TikTok at Anime Sekai Podcast,
Tune in next week, guys. Thanks for
for
listening.
another brand new episode. Thanks so much for listening. We'll catch you guys next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.